section. Moving on to Charles Barkley. Nothing to do with butterflies, snowballs, geometry, or philosophy. Charles Barkley is not an NBA 2k17. Charles Barkley is not an NBA 2k17 because of this tweet explaining why he's not an NBA 2k17. It's the Howard Beck tweet. Barkley says his likeness is not an NBA 2k because they decline his request that they give money to retired players in exchange. So all of Barkley's friends don't care. Right? Yeah. All the dream team, Jordan, Pippen, Malone, Bird, all these guys, right, have no worries in the world about their likeness not being paid as a retired player. However, I understand Barkley's reasoning, like if they're going to use him to sell more, right, and I don't think Barkley alone would be enough, then that makes sense. I don't think Kobe gets paid any extra amount of dollars for the Kobe Bryant NBA 2K17 Legacy Edition or the Legendary Edition. The NBA 2K18, if they were to pay Barkley with a Barkley edition, and just like that face, that would be good. Full center.
And a stubbornness not to include LeBron James in any sort of
decent list.
He might. Oh, if he wins 5 rings?
Hear about it?
What did he say?
You always ask me about, I'm not going to do a Barkley voice. He said, you always ask me about why LeBron isn't in my top 5 or my top 3, and he goes, the media always talks about rings. LeBron has 3, Kobe and Duncan have 5. If LeBron gets 5, then we can have the conversation again. Okay,
sounds pretty reasonable.
A little more
what
reasonable.
What about Oscar Robinson?
A little more reasonable.
Him?
Yeah, a little more reasonable than the Oscar
Robinson.
Average
a triple-double for an entire season.
I want Barkley to come on the show.
Here's the point that I will make on the idea of making money from including him in this, right? If you're complaining about him wanting that extra money for being involved, or players being rightfully paid for their involvement, it's not that it's solely that they want the money, they probably do, but it's that extra money, do you think that it's suddenly given to charity if they don't take it? No, the game is keeping it. So it's going from one rich guy's pocket to another rich guy's pocket. So who really cares? Just if someone is getting paid to be part of the game, I want to play with Charles Barkley.
This brings up an important discussion that was happening in our comment section. Somebody was asking myself and the channel not long ago, I think this past week to be specific, about, what is this whole deal about players getting paid so much money? They already make so much money. Why is there more? And you have to look at it, and somebody made an even better example in the comment section. So I'll use that example. Like if you're a singer or an artist, right? And you go and you sell out Wembley Stadium, 15,000 people, and the total revenue for that concert was, let's just make it easy, $1 million. It'll be way more than that, but you're a cheap ticket, only a couple dollars to see you, $10 to see you
I'll take
perform, right? You're very fair. $10 for front row seats, $10 for the back of the building.
Man, I'm a socialist.
So you are. You're pretty much a socialist. So it's $1 million, but that was the total revenue. You're the reason that they're there. Now, you still have to pay off the people who worked the stadium itself, but let's say it's 50-50. That seems fair. So you get half the money and the other people get half the money. You don't want it to be in a situation where, well, you're the reason that they're coming to see the show, so you only get $1,000, and all of the other money goes to Wembley Stadium, and the guy who owns Wembley Stadium, I don't know, or the woman who owns Wembley. Does anybody own Wembley Stadium? Mr. Wembley.
The English...
Sir
the
Thomas
English FA,
Wembley III.
The FA, the Football Association, English FA.
Yeah, we don't want them getting the money. So in this case, it's the same thing. It's like, it's not, if you're going to use players for sales purposes and you're going to promote the fact, which they did, by the way. It wasn't like Barkley was making a claim that it wasn't founded. They had that whole NBA 2K17 promotion for the Dream Team.
Yeah.
Right? So yes, in all fairness, you should get paid for that. It's the reason that there shouldn't be NCAA football and why they had to stop making it for video games, and NCAA basketball, because those athletes were being used. Their likeness was being used and not getting paid for it. It's pretty tough when you're watching, if they had a new edition of NBA or NCAA 2K17, let's say a college edition, you have a guy on Kentucky that looks like Karl Anthony Towns, plays like Karl Anthony Towns, is wearing Karl Anthony Towns' number, but Karl Anthony Towns can't see a dime from it because he's a college athlete. Same problem.
I completely agree. It's the argument that you always will hear. How much more, what extent do you have to go to make more money? How much more money do you need? You've already got all the money in the world. Well, the organization that is in charge of it is making ridiculous amounts of money. That's why we always make the argument that college kids should be paid for how much they're exploited for the game of the college.
Right. We agree on this completely. We just don't know how.
Yeah, we don't know how to do it.
We agree that
more scholarships.
Definitely should be paid. No idea how. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'd be a guy if they paid me and Panda Express and Chipotle, I'd take it.
You're a cheap date.
I'm a cheap date. All right, we talked a lot of important things on this special edition of the Pluto Show because we talked about philosophy, butterflies, snowballs, effects, geometry,
All the good stuff.
Geography,
Pythagoras.
Do it. Do
Pythagoras theorem?
The Peyton voice.
Pythagoras.
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 At Francis on Budweiser. At Jason Rubin 91. Comment, like, favorite, subscribe, all the good stuff. We'll see you next week.